Take a breath. Welcome to Space to Exhale, the podcast, weekly inspiration for self-care and soft living. I am your host, Lisa Hurley. I'm a 5-time Anthem Award winner, second-generation Reiki master and community builder, and I'm the author of the book, Space to Exhale. Through healing modalities like breathwork, affirmations, and meditations, I'll guide you on a life-changing journey to help you know yourself, love yourself, be yourself, and create much-needed space to exhale. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Space to Exhale, the podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Hurley, and I'm here to remind us all to slow down, take a breath, say no to hustle culture, and yes to a life of ease. And my hope and dream is that together we can all curate lives we don't feel we need a break from. And now let's make some space to exhale. Today, I'll be joined by a very special guest, my friend, Lola Bakare.
Hello, everybody. And can I just say we started in the most meta of formats for this podcast. I absolutely needed space to exhale as I was rushing the shot. And
oh my goodness.
Okay, Lisa?
Sorry, what was that?
Can you see me okay?
It is a little bit blurry for some reason. It was fine at the beginning. That's okay. We'll sort it out because while you do that, what I'll do is read everyone your bio so everyone knows exactly who you are. And then we're going to take some space to exhale and take a breath. So, folks, this is who you're going to be blessed by today. Lola Bakare is the founder of BCO and the strategist behind the Responsible Marketing Movement. She's the author of Responsible Marketing, Kogan Page 2024, and she's held roles at PepsiCo, Diageo, Dell, The Daily Dot, and New World Pasta, and consulted for brands including Taylor Morrison, L'Oreal, IBM, Novo Nordisk, Diageo, and Irving Company. Her Maximize the Movement initiative won gold at the Anthem Awards. A LinkedIn top voice with 40,000 plus followers and an Adweek Creative 100 honoree. Lola has spoken at Cannes Lions. I always want to say Cannes Lion. Pronounce it fully in French. She has spoken at Cannes Lions, South by Southwest, Brand Week, and Female Quotient with bylines in Harvard, Business Review, Adweek, and Marketing Brew. So welcome again, Lola. Folks, that is who is going to be with us today. Before we get started, you guys know how this works. We are going to take a moment to exhale. We're going to take a few deep breaths together. And as Lola was saying at the top of the show, very meta moment because we both need some space to exhale today. So we're doing it for us and for you.
I love it.
Close your eyes, relax a bit, put your shoulders down, get your shoulders away from your ears. Move your head a little bit, side to side, back and forth. And now inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And again, inhale and exhale. And one more time, inhale and exhale. And as you start to come back into the room, let's focus on today's affirmation. You can start opening your eyes, come back into the room with us. And today's affirmation is, I am defining success on my own terms. Because today's topic is responsible success, thriving without losing yourself. So we're definitely going to be defining success on our own terms. So Lola, let's get right into it.
Let's get into it.
So Since it's space to exhale, tell me what has been taking up the most space in your life and in your heart recently?
Well, most recently, like in this immediate moment,
yes,
as many people know, and as I'm sure everyone's LinkedIn feeds convey, it is the week before a lot of us are going to Cannes Lions, and that takes a lot of preparation.
Yes,
especially if you are an independent like me. So when it comes to deciding where you're going to speak, when it comes to deciding what events you're going to attend, RSVPing to all of that, and then of course the work of preparing your remarks, which is
because you're presenting,
part, right? It's a busy week, and on top of that, the clients don't go away when the conferences come up. So it is a blessing to have the opportunity. I would never complain about it because this is what I've always dreamed of doing. And we talked about manifestation. This is a powerful example of that for me. One year, I just decided to go.
Right. I want to do it. I'm just going to do it.
I'm just going to do it. And this is my 5th year in a row attending. I've had so many people come to me and say, because you did it, Lola, I was inspired to send myself as well. And there's this, I think, movement, and it's not just started by me, but a groundswell of people of color, people who might have otherwise not been invited to the table and who might not be platformed by the biggest brands or agencies at the moment,
right?
Sending themselves into this experience, and also the organization inviting them in. So, I mean, it's a really beautiful full circle moment, but also one that does not leave a lot of time to exhale if you're not careful.
Right. But even though what I noticed is that I've noticed it the past few years is that you do make space to exhale. Yes, you go, you attend and whatever, and I think it normally occurs around your birthday. Do I have that correctly?
Yes, I turned 42 on Thursday.
Oh my gosh, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I remember seeing your posts and seeing, that you would either go a little early or often maybe stay a little late afterwards so that you could have some decompression time, fully enjoy your birthday and do all of that. So you build in your space and you make sure that you have that balance. So that's one thing I love about
actually this year I'm going to Nigeria, my homeland, for 2 weeks, almost 2.5 weeks right after the festival. So I'll get to see my family, and that's going to be a wonderful moment of exhaling as well.
That's beautiful.
Just a skill I hope people take away from me, even when it comes to those long event days, just giving yourself the grace to say, my day is over.
Yeah.
Like
you don't have to do it all.
That next hour, that next isn't going to be anything more magical than what you've already experienced. You've showed up. Likely you've gotten the value you wanted to get. And so at that moment where you feel full, you leave the table. It's almost like Vegas. I'm not a big Vegas person, but it's like, if you keep playing blackjack, it ain't gonna get any better, right? So you leave the table when you're up and you go have a nice rest and you do it again the next day.
Yes, I love that approach. Leave the table when you are full, right? That's bars right there, 100%. And actually, I am one of the people, now I have not yet I've been to Cannes, but not to the festival, right? But I want to go to the festival at some point. And every year I tell myself, okay, this is going to be the year, this is going to be the year. And it hasn't happened yet, but because you have been, and because I follow your posts and see what you do, how you approach it, and I know that it is possible because you have gone there multiple times. I know that it is possible for me. So
absolutely,
yes, it hasn't happened yet, but I know it can and it will.
And it will. And when it does, it'll be the exact right moment.
Yeah. So I'm not even forcing it. It's going to happen organically. And we're going to get into that because it is going to be a moment of manifestation. It is going to be a moment of manifestation. But before we get to that, let's talk a bit about your book, Responsible Marketing, which I'm a big fan of.
Which you are in.
And which I'm in. I'm blessed. Listen, y'all, what y'all don't realize is, some of you at least, Lola and I have known each other for years now. And what you don't see beyond, yes, sometimes we're in each other's comments and stuff on LinkedIn, but most of our communication is actually off of LinkedIn, in text messages and emails, and just calls to each other. Hey, how are you doing? How's everything going? And we support each other's work ferociously. Ferociously. We're 100% fans of each other. So thank you again, Lola, for including me in responsible marketing. And you are on the back cover of my book. You were one of the people that blurred my book. And so thanks for that too.
And Lisa, it happens so organically to support each other. That idea of radical support. I don't even tell you, and I'm sure you don't even tell me half the times, but a story just popped into my head of when I was in Possible. Not when I was in Possible, when I was at Possible, the conference. Right. Maybe I might have been being impossible at Possible. But I was sharing with someone who was talking about feeling burnt out and have to get my friend's book. Lisa Hurley, Space to Exhale. And it's just like she's writing it down. That happens all the time.
Thank you.
And I'm not the only one, I'm sure.
Oh, that means so much, because it's easy to do the and it's meaningful when people do the public facing stuff, right? But to know that folks are speaking your name in rooms that you're not in, when there's no, like, I would never have known if you didn't tell me now, right? But that is top tier. That is gold, because nobody's doing that. You're not doing that to get anything from me in return. It's just, this is a book I believe in. This is a person I believe in. I'm going to support.
Absolutely. Yeah. And not even support. I'm going to serve the person I see struggling with this solution.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And so, let's get into responsible marketing a little bit. Now, you describe in the introduction of it, you describe 2020, which was, of course, an interesting year for us all, right? You describe it as a season that forced you to ask questions about legacy, purpose, the meaning of life. Really? And so, So can you tell us a bit more about that? And looking back now, what do you think that season was preparing you for?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, it's such a tricky one to talk about from a place of gratitude, because it was such a tragic time for so many people. But I think we need to look at our particular situations and find a way to be grateful for where we are. And so because of that, I use the word privilege a lot in a lot of different ways. I did feel privileged to not be in an environment where I was an essential worker, like my dad, who's a doctor, my friend Jackie, who's a nurse. Life didn't change work-wise for them. It just became more dangerous. So as somebody who could work remotely, and thus have a bit more time on my hands, because I'm not commuting to clients, because I'm in one place, it's sort of like I have responsibility to do something with this time. And there are things I've always wanted to start expressing that I believe about work that could be done in better ways, in more impactful ways, or even understood in more repeatable ways across our industry. And if I don't use this moment to start putting that down on wax, then I'm not honoring my own privilege. So it became more of a mandate than anything else to sort of get out of that in your head creative mode and start in different ways through LinkedIn posts and ultimately the book getting on the page.
Yeah. Because life, I do find that when one gets to a certain age, and we're both women of a certain age, right? You do start pondering questions like that more. I can speak for myself. In my 20s and 30s, I can tell you I was not really thinking that much about legacy. I really was not. But as I, grew and matured, more to the point, I started thinking about those kinds of questions more. And as you said, in 2020, I think it was a pivotal moment for so many of us. And I started thinking of similar questions as well. Just to let you know, Lola, your
screen is blurring again. Yeah, I don't know.
Blurry again. Yeah.
I leaned down to get a sip of water, so I'll stop doing that.
No, that's okay.
But if you'll excuse me quickly, I'll just jump right in and out so we can continue.
Absolutely. We'll continue on. And folks, Lola's book is called Responsible Marketing. And so make sure to go and get your copy ASAP. All right. It's called Responsible Marketing. It is, I believe, the world's most, let me see if I get this right, diversely sourced marketing book. And actually tell us a bit about that. Like, what was that your intention going into it to make it so diversely sourced? That okay. And what made you focus on that?
I don't know if you've gone into a bookstore recently and looked at the marketing book section.
Yep.
They are all by white men, mostly. Maybe a white woman or a few. And often those books are specialized in areas that are more sort of receptive to the idea of women writing about them. But as far as sort of like the hardcore, like, let me tell you about this discipline in a way that is comprehensive. I'm not talking to you about just writing or just content strategy. No, this is a book that's going to be about marketing as a whole. There are very few that aren't by white men. And in those books, they quote other white men almost exclusively.
Yes, yes.
There are exceptions. And two of them are my friends. And in my book, Dr. Gabriel, Dr. Collins, everyone's familiar with them. And it's just not okay that the list is so short of those of us who are talking about this discipline that literally shapes what everyone sees and experiences on a daily basis. The academic writing about that needs to be robustly informed by people other than white men. That's just the long and short of it. And so I wanted to go a little bit overboard and make that statement and show that if you really put some effort into it, you can represent almost every single aspect of diversity there is. And you can know which ones you missed and try to do more next time, which I'm absolutely aware of that as well. So it's never about perfection. It's about transparency, and it's about awareness, self-awareness, and sort of spatial awareness, if you will, cultural awareness. So that's why I wanted to do that. As anybody who's written a book knows, it's extremely laborious to include sources at that scale. But I'm so glad I'm so glad you did it.
So I'm glad you did it too. But yes, on the publishing, on the authorship side, a lot of people don't realize how much work goes into, like, if you are writing your book, or if you are collaborating with a ghostwriter or whatever, once you're not just producing a book with AI, right? You're putting your work.
Yeah, exactly.
Which people have done. If you write a book in a day, no, it's literally not possible. Okay. If you're writing it yourself. So if you're writing it yourself, if you're collaborating with a ghostwriter, if you're putting the work in, the sourcing alone, the sourcing and citations, that is its own project.
Yeah. And yours is very intricate in that way too. And I like it because it gives people a gift that keeps on giving. You know, you're pointing people to other resources, and you know, the business and professional and self-care. And I put our books in all three of these categories. The sort of service books, if you call the ones that I think are of most value, have taken the time and care to do that.
Absolutely.
They're not a manifesto, you know. They're not like a long diary entry. Here's what I think.
Right, which is fine. It's fine if you want to write a really long diary entry, but for me as well, it was important because, you know, for the same reasons that you just mentioned. Black women especially are not cited and used as, let's say, academic and leadership sources as often as we should be. And so part of my goal was that I threw in as many Black women as I could. And although our focuses might have been, you know, there's a nuance in focus, in difference, right? So you wanted to make yours diversely sourced, which you did. And I wanted to cite as many Black women as possible, which I did. Both of them serve a purpose. Neither is right, neither is wrong. Both of them have a purpose and a niche that they that they
Well,
serve.
I mean, let's be clear. I will unapologetically say I leaned into Black sources.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. And when I use the word diverse and when you use the word diverse, I hope everybody listening is being very clear that we are not using it to describe a type of human. We are using it to describe a group comprised of many different types of humans.
Yes.
So I hope you're picking up on that. It's different than how it's used really often, most of the time.
Most of the time, it actually is sort of used as a synonym for one particular kind of human, to be honest.
Which is the kind that is not white, which is ridiculous. Like, oh, I'm a diverse candidate. I have a diverse candidate. We're looking for a diverse speaker. What is a diverse speaker?
That does not mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Yes. Because often people want to dance around the thing. They don't want to just come out and say the thing. Right?
Yeah.
Just say the thing, and it's okay. It's okay. Well, for me, certainly, I'm like, okay, my focus is Black women. That is not the only audience that I serve. But that is my focus, and I don't mind saying it.
Nothing wrong.
It's okay.
Great about it. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So listen, so today's conversation, like I said, it's about responsible success. Your book is called Responsible Marketing. So as I was prepping for this episode, it occurred to me that one could say that responsible success could be seen as responsible marketing turned inward.
Right?
I
love that.
So so tell me what you think. I know I just threw it at you. Okay, tell me what you think about that.
If I had to muse on that as a prompt, it is really accurate, because the idea of responsible marketing, again, is not to be perfect, but it's to consider what's going on culturally around a brand, around an opportunity. It's to consider the context and respond to it in the best way that you can, that is relevant to the brand, that is sort of meaningful to what society needs, and is thus considering what positive impact can possibly be made. So that is responsible. It's not sort of doing something that's perfect, but it's doing something that responds to the reality of what's going on. And so if you think about that in terms of your own success, responsible success is being honest with yourself, being kind to yourself, being patient with yourself, and then believing in everything that's possible for yourself.
I absolutely love that.
Yes, you can stop believing in it if it doesn't manifest the moment you want. Every step back could sort of lead you into a spiral.
It has, that is a possibility, and as human beings, that's going to happen sometimes, where you temporarily lose faith. But for me, I'm getting better at realizing that every delay is not a denial.
Absolutely.
Some denials are protection.
Yep.
Some denials are protection, but most often it's a case of the universe, whatever you believe in, right? Whatever larger meaning you believe in, that is trying to help you. Yes. It is always trying to help you. Yes. And so, yes, things might be delayed. Like, I was not planning to write a book in my 50s. If anybody had asked me in my, let's say, teens or 20s, I would have said, oh, absolutely, in my late 20s, early 30s, I would have written probably multiple books, right? But that's not what happened. But so it was delayed, but it was not denied. So yeah. So what do you think, Lola, based on some of what you just said? So if people measured success more by alignment versus achievement, do you think that is an aspect of responsible success?
Yeah, I think that's part of it too. And it's actually, like you said, it really relates to the themes in the book. Imagine a brand is sort of trying to assess whether or not it's been responsible to X historically excluded group by doing X activity, right? So I'll bring up one of the examples that I bring up a lot because it's just so easy to understand. And that's what MasterCard did with TrueName. They made it easy for somebody to change their dead name to their true name on their credit card without years of bureaucracy, protecting people at the point of sale, affirming people, and just sort of doing something within the wheelhouse of that product, specifically that industry, that changed lives for that historically excluded group. Now, was that something that achieved potentially, the highest sort of revenue payback goal of any marketing effort in that moment? Was it the most impactful short-term marketing activity that year? Probably not. But was it aligned in a way that it will continue to deliver long-term commercial impact in terms of brand preference?
Yes.
These things that are so much more valuable than a momentary bump in revenue or users? Yes. So that alignment positions you for long-term success. Achievement is fleeting. You get it, and then you got it, and then it's gone.
You get it, you got it, it's gone. It's true.
It's not as valuable as achieving alignment because it's not tangible. It lasts, and it's real, and it's not performative.
Yes, that and all of that, not being performative, being real, being in alignment. That's what, folks, that's what we're talking about when we talk about responsible success. And the responsibility part is about being responsible to yourself.
Yes.
And your loved ones. That's why we're saying responsible marketing is responsible success is like responsible marketing turned inward. How are you doing? Yes. Approaching your life in a responsible way for yourself.
Let's case study it out, Lisa, for people who are dealing with layoffs right now. That's a big issue right now. A lot of people are dealing with being laid off. A lot of people are dealing with having, sort of a struggle in finding their footing back into the workforce. A lot of these people are Black women, unfortunately. And so, again, what does it look like to be responsible to oneself in that moment when you go back and you assess, well, what did I achieve in that job?
Yes.
And was I really the right person? Like, maybe I deserved it. What are some other things that you can go back and measure as opposed to getting laid off? How many people did you uplift while you were in that leadership position? How many people are in jobs today because of what you taught them in your work in that experience?
Yes.
What are the ways that you can find gratitude for what you contributed for the time that position was in alignment with your journey? And how can you walk away with a proud feeling about that? Because that's what you deserve. That's what would be responsible to yourself. To allow yourself to take pride in your contributions because you know that they were there.
Yes. Because now I have definitely lost jobs before. I not an experience that I enjoyed, shall we say, but it happens in careers. But it's tempting to look at it as a failure.
Yep.
It's very tempting to, and it can feel like a failure. You can feel like if you failed, you can feel not me, of course. Haha. You can feel anger and bitterness.
Oh yeah.
But seriously, you can towards let's say if you got fired or whatever it happens to be. But if you spend 3, 4, 5, even more years of your life at a job, the likelihood is as the average person, you have done good. You have done good things. You've done well. And you've done good things at that job. And losing that, I've lost jobs before. I remember one was around the time of the market crash back in I don't know, even remember when that was, but years and years ago. Was it when was it?
2008.
Yeah, thank you. My brain fog. Thank you. 2008. So
When
I lost
some of our viewers were born.
Right, exactly. Let me tell you, the brain fog is coming for y'all. I hate to tell you this, but it's gonna happen, unfortunately. But yeah, so that market crash, and I was at AIG at the time, and it's not, probably a lot of people, not just at AIG, a lot of other companies, had to downsize people. It just was a matter of, this is what happened. People were laid off. It was not a reflection of me, of my work ethic, of the quality of human being that I am, of the quality of work that I produced, of any, like you mentioned before, Lola, any positive impact I had on my coworkers or they might have had on me. And so you have to kind of, find a way, if you can, to roll with it and sort of almost very deliberately look for the positive. Yeah. And we're not talking about toxic positivity.
No.
Right? We're not saying, quote unquote, the bad thing or the thing that you don't like didn't happen. It happened, but there's a good side to it. Yeah. And your responsibility is to uplift yourself by focusing as much as you can on the good side.
Yes. And I love that you said not toxic positivity. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean one shouldn't also welcome oneself to get the negative side out too, whether it's through journaling, having discussions, etc. We're talking about a yes and here. And when you get to that and this is part of it too, the power is that you can start, and this is the key to, I think, building a responsibly successful career, is you find out what you're really good at and what you like to do. Mm-hmm. And you start to honor that reality in a way that becomes, to use your word, ferocious, in a way that becomes radical. There's a book by one of the, by the way, when I say white male business writers, they're all on my bookshelf. Like, I read all this stuff. So from
you have to. It's your area. You have to.
I'm not hating. I just want there to be more people writing the books. Mm-hmm. So from good to great, or there's a book.
It's a good one.
It's like, be great at what you're already good at. This is something that's very difficult for Black women to do, because we understand life from a place of, I need to be great at everything. Mm-hmm. But the idea of being able to be choiceful and become even greater at what you're good at,
yes,
that is a career accelerator to the max, because then you can start to decide versus trying to be chosen.
Ooh, yes. So do you think what you described just now, do you think that is your approach to your career now? Like, when did you realize?
More and more, it's how I try to operate. It is very difficult. But yes, I think it was in the middle of my journey as an independent consultant where, when I first started doing this kind of work, it was in a place where, if you have a project for me, I'll take it. Like, whatever it is that you need.
Whatever it was.
It took a few experiences getting burnt out, not being the right person, knowing that I probably should have referred something to someone else to say, well, what is it that you really want to be known for? And what are you really good at? And how can you really help? And when you start to get really clear on that and honest about that, then so much more starts flowing in, because people understand it. Oh, Lola, you would be great for this. You would be great for this. You'd be great for this. My book came to me in that way.
Right.
Like, I'd always thought about wanting to write one, but the publisher pitched it to me. Mm-hmm. So you start to attract when you become very choiceful about what it is that you contribute to the world. And this is not an easy thing. I struggle with it every day as well. Like, we talk about all this canned stuff. Of course, I find myself like, oh my gosh, I want to be on the list for that. But then I step back and I say, nope. Whenever we get into that energy, I'm not meant to be there.
All right. Tell us a bit more about that. How did you get to the point of realizing that that franticness and that FOMO and feeling like you need to be everywhere? When did you when did you get it?
And
Finally?
again, it's a work in progress, but it's just
Mm.
it's being self-aware of cause and effect. Like, what does that
Mhm.
get you? Have you ever, on the other side of feeling a frantic FOMO moment, felt fulfilled and energetic and ready to serve?
Yeah.
Which we are. That's what we're doing. We are doing our work from a place of service.
Mhm.
And have you ever gone from that place to being more focused on service? No. To being more fulfilled? No. To being more present at the many spaces that you are invited to the table to contribute to?
Mhm.
No. So it's sort of like, don't allow yourself to become distracted from your blessings by your list of wants, because chances are your list of blessings is actually already longer.
Listen, girl, you just blew me away as usual, because I knew you were going to bring it. That right there that you just said, absolutely amazing, because getting distracted from your blessings because you're focused on your wants. What? Because gratitude, what you're describing really is being grateful. You're
Absolutely.
talking about being grateful and being, yeah, simultaneously, yes, it's definitely okay to have ambitions and desires and goals and dreams, but never lose sight of what you already have.
Yes. And
Never
a
lose sight.
goal is different than a want, right? Like, a want
Yes.
can be superficial. A
Yeah.
goal is something that you can create a plan to achieve, but a want is something that you feel entitled to.
Mhm.
And and it's generally not coming from a positive place, if I can say that. Maybe folks
Yeah. Yeah.
might argue with me, but in my life experience, when I start to engage with wants, we go down a bad path.
Girl, that's another podcast episode for another day.
No,
Because
that is a loaded sentence that could mean
those,
so many things. Everybody take it the way you need to take it.
right? Because those wants can get you in trouble for sure. But moving on.
I can't with you. Hi,
We can continue discussing that over via text.
LinkedIn. I love
But
it. I love it. I
yeah,
love it.
absolutely. Listen, so a couple minutes ago, you mentioned that your book um sort of came to you, right? And so folks, those of you who are new here, for every episode I ask guests of my guests to, can you select a passage from Space to Exhale that really resonated with you? And so Lola chose a package about acting as if and manifestation and so on. And so to hear you say that your book just came to you, can you tell us about that? Because that to me sounds like manifestation.
Yeah,
So
and
can you tell us about it?
the story, you won't even believe it, because it is so like a movie,
Right.
um, but it's real. So I was on a retreat in Ghana. I'm not kidding.
Mm-hmm.
In Accra. Beautiful home, maybe 10 or 11 women talking about our goals, vision
Mm-hmm.
boarding, etc. Now, at that time, I had already started writing ferociously on LinkedIn about what I then packaged as maximize the movement,
Yes.
analyzing what brands were doing around social impact. What is the line between impactful and performative? Putting my
Mm-hmm.
voice out there in this way, and really doing it in a way that um, quite frankly, was brutally honest, um,
Yes.
and quite frankly, um, took it upon myself to
Mm-hmm.
engage with the leaders behind this work, both when there were cheers and jeers for those leaders.
Right.
That was kind of bold and something that not a lot of people took it upon themselves to do, but I felt I had the right to have a voice. You
Mm-hmm.
know, on the one hand, because of my background, having come from this world of brand marketing and having been in those roles. And from
Mm-hmm.
another hand, just also feeling like I have the right to speak to whoever I want. They don't have to speak back, but I can speak to them. So I was out
Yes.
there doing that. That's the context. And I wrote on my vision board one morning, I want to turn this thing into a book. I want to turn this maximize the movement thing somehow into a book. And that morning I got the email from my acquisition editor at Code and Page.
No.
When I tell the story, it's like, I don't even want you to believe me because it's so ridiculous. We'll tag him in the comments and he'll concur. Yeah.
That is so, I don't want to use the word amazing because that sounds like puffery, but you know what I mean. But it is amazing, and it sounds unbelievable to those who don't know how this stuff works. Right? To me, it sounds wonderful, but not unbelievable. But not unbelievable. And you and I have a similar-ish story in that I too, had written in my journal and all of that, this is what I want to do. And, I said, I'm not sure if I'm fully prepared, but I want to start it now. When I said I'm ready to start, then the Book Academy showed up like the next day, right? But the thing is,
wonderful.
You said you were ready because you wrote it on your vision board. So you started the process. You wrote it on your vision board, and the universe said, "Oh, okay, she's ready. No problem. Here you go." I wrote it in my journal, and the universe said, "Oh, okay, no problem. She's ready. Here you go." I said that I needed to get more prepared, and I was sent something to help me get prepared.
The tool showed up.
The tool showed up. But I started, I have it in my book, the sequence of events, right? But I believe very shortly after I started the Book Academy, then my acquisitions editor reached out. So our stories are very, very similar.
Amazing. Wow. And you'd barely been in the academy for 2 days. And
right.
There it is.
Yeah. And there it is. And so for those who are not, quote unquote, into manifestation, I don't even really like using that term because, but you understand what I mean. But for those who are not familiar or who maybe don't believe that manifestation is real, you've heard Lola's story, you've heard my story. But Lola, do you have any advice for people who maybe want to try their hand at manifestation? Like how would they go about it?
And it's funny because Lisa and I are very different. Like I engage in the like crunchy world of, the world of the call it spiritual, if you will, the self-care world, the soft living world. I engage in that world. I engage in it, but I'm not like swimming in it.
You're not swimming in it, right?
Swimming in it, but
in it, but not of it.
Right? Maybe, yeah. We can debate that, but I believe that when something works, you do it.
Yes.
And I believe that there's many ways to do things that work. So it can be as simple as, for me, this is going to happen, like in my head.
Yes.
Oh no, that's going to work out. That thing's going to happen. And that's it.
Yeah.
And then it happens. And then it happens.
Because the thing is, you are actually one of the most confident people I know. And I don't mean that in a not braggadocious, not that kind of energy, but you definitely know who you are, know what you are capable of, know where you want to go. And I'm not saying that you have all of the answers figured out, but you definitely, I remember when I met you in person the first time, because you and I had been like, in community on LinkedIn. And then I'm like, yeah, I would love to interview you. You said absolutely. And then we met in person for an episode of Real Talk on Racism. And when you came out of the car, folks, if you have not, listen, I wish, no, seriously, it was this energy. I don't know how else to describe it. Just warm and sparkly and alive and confident, and friendly, and just all of the positive things, and comfortable. And then when we start interview, just the which I knew you had, the intellect and the brain and the ideas and the eloquence and all of that came through. And so, but all of that only comes through if you know who you are.
Yes.
If you know who you are. And so you did not show up in Princeton that day trying to be anybody else but Lola.
And the key is when you know who you are, that's why manifestation works, because you're asking for things that make sense.
For who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah, for who you are.
Okay, I want to be president. I'm going to be president. I know it's going to happen. I'm going to be president of the United States. Like, no, I'm not manifesting that.
Right. That is decidedly not going to happen for either one of us.
Exactly. Like, okay.
I don't want it. That's also the other thing. I don't want it.
I know I'm going to be the first. No, it's not stuff like this. Is not like genie in a bottle type stuff. But this is within your wheelhouse. If you have that radical self honesty, what do I want, and speaking it into existence, and that is absolutely possible.
For sure. I used to be a part of an intentions group back in the day, and so we would meet and write out our intentions. I like you might say, I intend that I'm going to write the world's most diversely sourced marketing book, right? And so we would write out all of our intentions, meet up every week or every other week, and then come back and share our wins, or in other words, share what we had manifested. But also by sharing it with others who were not jealous, who wanted us to win, who were in support of our goals, that amplified the force of what we were intending and asking for, what we wanted to manifest. And so that's something to think of as well. I am a big believer, for the most part, in move in silence, right? And let your results speak for themselves. But there are times where you need to bring people in. You need to bring people in. So, you were working on your book. We shared a little bit about that. I was working on mine. We shared a bit about that before. And I don't know about you, but for me, certainly, my book was not done. It was not perfect. It was not finished when I shared it with you. And as a recovering perfectionist, that was hard. And it had nothing to do with you. It could have been anybody, right? It's like,
yes.
Right?
It was hard to share those first few shares.
Yeah.
I mean, I had someone, and we all know her, Cindy Gallup, who had agreed to write my foreword.
Yes.
And I remember I was actually at Cannes, maybe it was two Cannes ago, or whenever that was. And like feeling this weight of like, I have to send her this. And so I sent her this email. Okay, I'm going to send you these chapters. And she was like, well, no, I need to see the whole book.
The whole book, exactly.
I was like, no. And then I was like, okay, fine. I don't know if Betsy's watching, but a pal of mine from the sort of LinkedIn network and also this community Sunday dinner, Betsy, was in a conversation with me at the Carlson where I was kind of like, I need to send this thing. I can't do it. And she was like, send it today.
Yeah.
She wrote me the most beautiful forward. I mean, it was, and I'm sure it wasn't perfect at that point. We made a lot of improvements over throughout that summer from an editing standpoint, but like it was ready for that moment. I just let go. And so that's another thing about responsible success. It's like understanding what you need to do to let go, and the level of revealing yourself that needs to happen for you to let go. I honestly don't believe the whole move in silence thing is going to be effective for recovering perfectionists. I think it's actually an enabler for recovery. I'm moving silence. I don't have to tell anybody. I don't have to tell anybody that I'm like sitting on this thing forever. I'm moving in silence. Like, okay. Or are you procrastinating?
Yeah, there's definitely nuance there. I mean, it can be, you have to at least have enough self-awareness to ask, okay, am I really, like you said, am I really moving in silence, or am I delaying the inevitable?
And I mean, everybody knows who they are. We also talk about being very different in terms of I'm a strong extrovert. You're an introvert. So it's like what fuels you and gives you power, lean into it. For me, it is people. And so I don't know if you remember, but I talked a lot about the process of writing my book on LinkedIn. I workshopped actual ideas that made it into the book on LinkedIn. I talked about how my publication date got extended because I wanted more time to write the book on LinkedIn. I let that process be seen. And so I think that's part of what made it successful, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And can I say it's interesting that you mentioned how different you and I are, but yet different, but I would say complementary, you know, because somehow we make it work. Yes, you're an extrovert, I'm an introvert, but one of the things I think that underlies our relationship is just a deep affection and respect for each other, you know, and for each other as people, for each other as thought leaders, for each other as creatives and professionals. And that is, you know, one of the things that makes the friendship and the relationship a good one. And I remember also, because my publication date was originally supposed to be May 6th, and it moved to June 17th. And so, yeah, you know, build in silence, but you know, I had to tell people that, right? And I was fine. So I absolutely, like you did with yours, I posted on LinkedIn, hey, I'm not going to rush a book about taking life slowly. That does not make sense to me. So I'll be taking it slowly. And here's the new date, because I'm not going to rush this. I'm going to take my time with it.
And everyone's like, cool.
Yeah. Everybody was absolutely fine with it. And that's another thing. Sometimes we can be so caught up in ourselves, frankly, in our own minds and in our own narratives, that we don't realize most people on average are, you know, they're cool, they're understanding, they have empathy. And so, yeah, people were like, okay, cool. Well, whenever the book is coming out, we'll be there.
Yep.
That's what most people said, you know?
Yep. I mean, I remember, sorry, go ahead, Lisa.
No, you go ahead, please.
I remember I was telling one of the people I interviewed, Seth Matlins, who's a huge mentor of mine in the marketing space. And he was one of the first people I interviewed. So I was updating him on when the book was going to come out. And I was talking to him about some of the challenges that I've been having, just like getting onto the page. And I'll never forget something he said. He said, you're going to get on the page when you're ready to get on the page. Just keep showing up.
That's it.
And that was so encouraging, because it rid me of the guilt that got in the way, that wasn't productive anyway. So it wasn't advice. Some people might hear that and think, well, Julia Cameron tells us to write and not wait till we're inspired. No, it's not about waiting for inspiration. That's not what he was suggesting, but being confident that this was going to happen. And that, you know, I am as capable as I imagined.
Yes.
To complete this project, even if the timelines end up changing.
Yeah. And I remember actually you and I having a conversation about that. And you expressed, you know, something similar to me, that you were, you know, you felt that the book was taking that you were taking too long with the book. That's basically what you said. And I said, you know, your book cannot be microwaved. You have to slow cook your book. Let it slow cook. Let it slow cook. And it will come out when it is ready. It will come out when it is ready, and people will be there.
Books.
Listen, you can't for certain things, you know, can you pop off an email in a couple of minutes? Yes, but a book that is being researched, and you know, that you're including thought leaders in, that you're interviewing people for, and that is a reflection of your entire life ethos. You cannot do that in 2 minutes in a microwave.
Yeah.
Right? You have to put that on and let it slow cook, for sure. Take your time with it. And so everything not only cannot be rushed, but should not be rushed.
Yes.
And whether it is a book, whether it is life, whatever it is, there's some times where you just have to let things take their time.
And I mean, this is not, I'm glad we're having this discussion in this moment when content is like the speed of space travel. I mean, people are expecting themselves to write a memoir a day, of course, with the help of AI. Who's even able to read all this stuff?
Right.
I think we're going to hit a bubble where we're reminded that there's a point to communication, and that's for it to be received and to be of service, not for it to exist. And so if this can serve as a reminder to people who are feeling that pressure, I would say write one high impact thing a week rather than 7 low impact things.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's responsible to your success, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, because one, it's, quality versus quantity. Quantity has its place, but quality is what is lasting. Quality and a focus on quality is what is responsible for yourself and for your audience and for your life, because also churning things out at that pace, is that being responsible? Is that being a good steward of your time and your talent? Yeah. Are you being a good steward also of other people's attention? Exactly. I would argue no.
I mean, and there's a difference. I don't know where the line is, but we know it when we see it, between documenting like the way we used to on, RIP Twitter, and sort of having that be a way of sort of your lifestyle, like the way some people update Instagram stories, and it's sort of like, as I go through my life, I'm updating. That's not what I mean as far as the volume, but this idea of like produced, composed, pieces that would cost thousands for a creative studio to make if they weren't being made by this individual who is now branded a creator. Those things are being churned out at an alarming rate. That does make me concerned, for a lot of people doing this work.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm concerned on multiple levels, including that certainly for me, my creativity is very much steeped in my thinking, the process of thinking and cogitating and mentally rehashing and parsing ideas. And everything, you can't do that if you can't do it if you're not doing it, right? You can't outsource your thinking.
Right.
That is not to say one cannot use AI as a thought partner. Let's say you, I don't know, you write an essay or whatever, and like Grammarly is AI. Okay. And then you run it through Grammarly. Can you check for this? Can you check for that? No problem.
Yep.
But the thinking should be yours. I remember when I first read your book, I was like, okay, this sounds like Lola. This sounds like the Lola that I know, whose content I've been reading, whose thought process I'm familiar with. I could hear some of the spark and the humor and all of that. I could hear.
I wish more people knew it was funny, because the packaging really didn't. If I could do anything differently, I would make the packaging a little more inviting, because I have to tell people, I'm like, this is actually a really funny book in a lot of ways.
It's right. It's good. It's really good. And I also remember thinking, and I told you this belongs in at every university, right? In every school, that every institution that is teaching marketing needs to get a copy of this book and have it be a part of the curriculum, because I have studied marketing. I would not call myself a marketer in the way that you are, right? But I've studied marketing, and therefore I've read a lot of marketing books.
And by the way,
I know marketing books.
Call you that? That's okay.
Oh, thank you. So I know marketing books, and I instantly realized, this is a completely different I don't want to use kettle of fish, but it is a completely different kettle of fish.
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely different. And so I know we're coming up to time. Do you have a hard stop, or do you want us to talk for a minute or two?
Let's go for a minute or two more. Let's start.
We can go for a minute or two more.
Be responsible to our success.
We will be responsible to ourselves and our audience, though. It's not going to be too long.
We're going to give ourselves. We come from cultures where both of us, Lisa, you don't just leave the party. You leave the party for like 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Exactly. You could be leaving the party for 3 hours.
So this is us leaving the party, culturally leaving the party.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to ask, so a lot of Black women, probably including ourselves, right, have I would say an issue with slowing down. Like they don't know how to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
And so after our discussion here today and in general, do you have a message, any advice, anything that you can leave with someone who is thinking, look, I want to slow down. I want to embody the idea of responsible success and not have my work just take everything from me, but I don't know how. Do you have a couple of tips that you can share?
Yes. And it all has to do with creativity.
Mm.
So as corny as it sounds, finding hobbies that have nothing to do with one's work that maybe you're not even that good at. I have a lot of paintings that I've done around here that you're never going to see. And
no, I want to, but I understand.
And that's one way I just releasing that, like, colors and creativity. That's an outlet for me. Reading fiction is an outlet for me. Streaming shows is an outlet for me. Like anything that takes your brain and allows you to be active. So not like that shut off numbing, but engaged, but not related to work. Right. And then, I also think making sure that the people around you, this is an important one, and it's a harder one for me to do, but you're accountable to letting your family know that maybe this is a time when you're going to need them to like bring you along to some events, or you want them to pull you out of this work shell. Like you feel like you really need to step away, but it's been difficult. Let the people who love you help you do that. And so that's another one of the tools I use as well, making sure that it's almost like you may not want to go spend time, but like it's a forcing function to go spend non-work time. And if there's a third thing, oh my goodness, I don't know if everybody's a pet person, but for me, having my little kitties is a huge outlet of just being able to just kind of like have something furry to, concentrate on and take your brain away from the day to day. So whatever that is for people, I think it's the idea of decentering oneself. I think for parents, this becomes even more complicated because that is a lot of work, but also I think there's a beauty in that. A lot of my friends who are parents do say that this becomes somewhat easier, that idea of decentering once you have kids. So, living a full life, I think, is the important thing, and finding ways to make sure that happens beyond what you create and what you achieve. And even if you're doing that in alignment, like we talked about, making sure that there's other stuff there at the end of the day.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Nothing to add. You covered it. You absolutely covered it.
If you're having trouble with it, talk to someone about it.
Yes.
That's the number one.
Get help. Yeah. Get help. And I don't mean that to sound dismissive. It's not a go get help, but reach out and ask someone, because more people than you think actually want to help you.
Yes.
Right. So if you are struggling with slowing down, or if, let's say, you have, racing thoughts and that kind of thing, definitely get help. Speak to a friend. And if you need to, I definitely believe in this. Speak to a professional if that is helpful to you.
Absolutely.
Right. Get the support that you need. And the support does not have to be from one source, right? Don't go and put all the pressure on, let's say, your person or your spouse or whatever, your partner. Don't put all that pressure on them, right? Outsource and let's take a divide and conquer approach and ask different people for help, because different people can support you in different ways and can help you slow down and manifest that life of responsible success in different ways.
You never know how you're going to be serving them, and at the same time. I always find it surprising when this sort of like friend I've been meaning to call thing finally happens, and they're feeling exactly the same way.
Yeah.
And so we are a tribal people, so we need to allow ourselves to be part of our tribes in whatever way that looks like for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we're going to wrap up, and the last question, Lola, is what does space to exhale mean for you right now? Having space to exhale.
For me, having space to exhale right now means turning 42 on Thursday, feeling good about it. Feeling good about it. Not feeling like, oh, by this time I should, like I've had birthdays like that. Oh, by this time I would be. Oh, by this time I thought I should have. Oh, by this time I thought. But no, I'm giving myself space to just, happy birthday, Lola.
Yeah.
There's a lot to celebrate. And that feels good. And I feel good about it. And like I can genuinely say that.
Good. So that's good. Good. I'm glad to hear that. And again, happy early birthday. And thank you so much for joining me. Much love, much love.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Honestly, it's the best way to kick off both Cans Week and Birthday Week.
Yes, good.
I feel so in the mood to engage, to celebrate, and to serve. And it's all from being in a space where that is what you do for us. And we're so grateful for that.
Thank you very much. Okay, folks, that is today's show. Thank you for joining me on Space to Exhale, the podcast. Goodbye for now. And until next time, remember to take time and make space to exhale. Bye. Thank you for joining me on Space to Exhale, the podcast. If today's conversation resonated with you, please subscribe, follow the show, and leave a review. Every rating, review, comment, and share helps more people discover these conversations about rest, well-being, healing, and living with greater ease. Join me live every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, or catch the replay wherever you listen to your podcasts. To stay connected between episodes, visit spacetoexhalebook.com, subscribe to the Gentle Breath newsletter, and explore my award-winning book, Space to Exhale. Until next time, remember, you do not have to earn rest. You do not have to justify your joy. You do not have to prove your worth. You are already worthy of love, worthy of care, and worthy of having time and space to exhale. Ashe.